everyone, I know what you're thinking, who's this guy and where's the homeless man that usually presents the channel, but it is me. It's Lee from Simply Rustic by Stearman & Sons, and the beard's gone, never to return. So in today's video you will notice, I'm not sure if you can hear it alright, but we've got backing music from Russ next door. I do let it slide because he's got great taste in music. I don't mind listening to his tunes all day. But if you can hear that, I do apologise. Hopefully you can hear my voice just as much. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing this. So that is the Power Workshop Pro from Cell. Now, the reason behind buying this is because, as if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that not only having this workshop, I also have another workshop out in my van, which is a mobile workshop, which started life because I needed to work from home to look after the kids during the lockdown. But moving forward, that van is still going to be a workshop. So when I'm out and doing pallet walls for people, it means I've got a full workshop set up that I can use on the go, and I don't have to be raking tools in and out of the workshop. And it also means I contain all the mess inside my little mini workshop and not in the customer's house. The only downside to my workshop is I've managed to get everything running on battery power apart from the table saw. Now, a table saw is something that I very rarely use, and it's generally just for ripping down the last few boards either at the bottom or the top of the pallet wall, but it is something that's essential. We do need the table saw, but I'm sure in time there is going to be a time where I can't get my van plugged into the mains power because maybe they don't have a driveway or you can't get parked near the house, and I'm going to need everything running on battery. And the only thing that's letting me down is the table saw. Now, the Power 8 Pro Workshop from Cell has basically a battery table saw built in. You'll see why shortly, but basically the long and short of it is it has a drill, a circular saw, a jigsaw and a light torch. These can also be mounted inside the toolbox that it comes to turn each power tool into a drill press, a table saw, a scroll saw and a work light. Now, I'm not expecting this to be the greatest table saw I've ever seen in my life, or the greatest scroll saw or the greatest drill press. What I'm hoping it's going to do is be able to rip a couple of pallet strips down to a particular width to be able to finish the job off without having to use any 240 volt power at all. So today's video is to unbox it, try it out, use it, and let's see if it's going to live up to what I need it to do. Is it going to surpass what I need it to do? Is it going to be completely useless? Let's find out. So I think this is going to be the best camera angle. A lot of the time when I stand up it's going to chop my head off, but you're going to get the best angle for the tool. So let's get it unboxed and see what's inside and what we've got. So basically this is it. Cell say that this is an entire workshop in a box. At first glance it looks like a cheap toolbox. We'll see. So, at first glance, this is basically the power handle, as they call it, which is your power source for all of your tools. So, by sliding it onto here, you have a drill driver, and somehow you release it. That one. Onto here, you have a torch. Again, onto here, you have a jigsaw, and finally onto here, you have a circular saw. Get off. Apparently once you put it on the circular saw, it don't come off. The circular saw has a secondary thing to stop it coming off. Why, I don't know. So basically you can put all of these tools into that box and turn them into their corresponding tabletop tool. I said the main reason for this is I want a circular. So the main reason for this purchase was I wanted a table saw that I could rip a couple of pallet boards down. So I'm going to go right ahead and try it in the table saw function. I've no idea how it works. So this could take a while, or it might take 2 minutes. Let's have a look. Well, that was as easy as the YouTube video showed, to be fair. So, ripping fence. Where's the ripping fence? Aha! We missed some bits when we was unboxing. So, there's also just a little box of drill bits and stuff, and also another little box of bits there. Also this, however this comes off. Aha! That just takes like a bit of a wiggle. So basically what this is if it's up that way, it becomes your drill press, and if it's like that, it becomes a ripping fence. Now, I am not counting on that fence being in any way accurate as measurements go. We'll check it. Well, let's check it. So I think, according to this, that'll make a 47mm cut. Tell you what, it might not be that bad. Let's get a piece of pallet wood and try. So we're going to find out what this is, the other purpose for this is. It also slides out to make a nice push stick, a little multi-tool. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to put too long a piece of it because I'm all about not wasting them, since I'm just cutting this wood for absolutely no reason. That'll annoy me that I've wasted a piece of good wood. So let's just see at first. I don't know if you can see that, but that is bang on 47mm. That cut through really easily. Again, we're only cutting a little bit of pallet wood, but that's all I wanted this for. That's all this was going to ever be for. A mobile table saw for me to rip up pieces of pallet wood, and it worked. So already, I'm happy with that feature. Is a professional joiner going to buy this? No, I wouldn't have thought so, but let's see how well the rest of the tools fare up. Now, I don't want to waste too much of everybody's time, you know, working through all the tools with a big, long, rigorous, you know, setup and will it work with this and will it do this? Because at the end of the day, the people that are going to want to know those type of things are more your professional woodworking joiners. And I would think that they would not dream of buying this kit. However, if you are a hobbyist, someone who lives in you know, you've only got like a small flat or not much of a garden, you've got no room for a shed to make a workshop, or just a handyman, you know, and you need all these sort of tools, I think this is quite a good kit if it carries on performing as well as that little table saw did. Obviously, there we go. take it off hammer. So the drill is quite smooth. It's a bit heavy and clunky, but it's not bad. It's better than a Black & Decker, that's for sure. You know, it's a lot better than a Black & Decker. So, you know, the power group there, it's a 4 amp power. If you're a hobbyist and you're going out and you're looking for something cheap, to get all this for the price you pay for this, you'd be looking at Black & Decker, and it's far superior to that from what I've seen so far. So what I'm just looking at now, I actually got a secondary power handle, just so we can have one on, one in charge. If you have this in its spot on the side there, and you have this unit plugged in, then your power handle will charge when it's docked, which is where it needs to be to use the tools. If you want to charge a power handle whilst using a power handle, you can remove this, slide that into there. So basically now, this power handle is now powering your power tool while this power handle is charging. Obviously, like me, what I would want to do for it to be usable for what I want is I would leave that docked in there, take this into the house or into the workshop, plug that into there, let that one charge, plug that into there, let that one charge. Then I would have 2 power handles throughout the day for the few cuts that I needed to do. It's got a nice quick release on the jigsaw there. Now, I'm not overly fussed about how well the jigsaw performs, but I am fussed how well it performs as a scroll saw, because again, that's a pretty cool feature to have in the van, a cordless scroll saw. It was just a bonus feature because I only wanted a table saw, but why not have a cordless scroll saw if you've got the option there? Not gonna lie, the scroll saw is not brilliant. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong, it's not terrible, you know, but I was only cutting for a short while then. You can buy a stand for this, but there is out of stock, which I think if you're using a scroll saw is definitely required. If not, maybe some sort of clamp. I don't know if it's too wide to clamp into a work, maybe because it was jumping about all over the place. My Axminster scroll saw is a nice big heavy cast iron and it holds it in place while you're cutting, whereas obviously that's just a plastic box. So as a scroll saw, I'm not going to lie, that wasn't great. Maybe a better blade and actually clamping the box down will make that a lot better because it did jump about a lot. So the drill press, I've changed the camera angle slightly because it's a bit tall, but basically you're just going to connect the drill to this back bar, and then what was your push stick for your table saw goes onto the side just here and gives you a drill press. This can be adjusted if you need to lower the height, you know, so you can get right down there. Right, so I tried it yet, so let's see what's wrong with it. That's about right. We're going to lower. That's as low as we go. We're going to get that under there. Oh, look at that. Try pushing that all the way in. I'm going to give you a close-up of that. That is not great at all. I'll just show you. I'm going to get you a closer angle. Before I start drilling, I'll just tell you what I saw. Basically, there's a lot of play. You can see the play in that. It's just not very rigid at all. See that? you saw that how much play there was in that from that, but it's only a few mil, but I wouldn't expect that from a drill press, you know, in the workshop. So it's not great. But again, that was a bonus feature. As a handheld battery drill, it's all right. It's not complete entry level, you know, rubbish. It's better than your Black & Decker. It's, you know, it's not as good as my battery drill. But if my battery drill was dead for some reason and I ran out of batteries, or somebody else was working with me and we could have done with 2 running, it's perfectly adequate as a battery drill. As a drill press, it's just, for me, that's, you know, that's far too much play. It's not rigid at all. So if you needed to do something and you wanted a drill press and it didn't have to be really accurate, it was just going to be easier to do with a drill press, then yes, you could use it. But as a drill press, it's not great at all. But that was a bonus feature for me, because the fact that we've got the table saw, as I say, that was the main thing for me, and that works really well. Way better than I actually expected it to, so I'm not too bothered about that. Let's have a look at the work light. So again, for the work light, you're going to leave this back bar in and just drop your torch into the hole and then raise it up and turn it on. I'll turn the lights out. I've got loads of skylights in here, so it's not going to be dark, we're not going to be able to see, but it does seem quite bright, just, you know, just as it is. It is fairly bright, but we'll turn the lights out so we can get a bit of a better view on that. Yeah, so that's lights out. As I say, it's too bright. It's sunny out, and I've got 1, 2, 6 massive skylights in the roof, so it's not really going to make any difference. But it is fairly bright. It would be nice to test it in a darker area, but it's quite good. You know, you can aim it up and down. Shame it don't go left and right, but I suppose you can just twizzle the box around. I don't think it's going to give you a permanent work light, but if you're working in a dark little corner and you just want to stand this up behind you to put some light onto where you're working, I think that's going to be perfectly adequate. But other than that, you know, it's not going to light up the whole van while I'm working or anything like that. But I think it's more for those dark corners. I don't know, maybe you're doing something inside a kitchen cupboard or something and you can't really see, you can have this stood behind you shining a light in. I think it'd be perfectly adequate for that, because I did, when I first turned this on, I looked into that as it was coming on and it was bright. You know, it is a bright light. Another feature I've just found whilst thinking about putting it away is when you put the circular saw into there, if you lift this up, you'll see your circular saw dust port on the back there. So something else I've just found, I noticed a hole in the back here, and there's also obviously the dust extraction on the circular saw. Now, when I set it up as a table saw before, I had it mounted the other way around. It does actually mount both ways, and there is a ruler on both sides. So the circular saw can be mounted so it can be a table saw in either direction. And if you actually mount it this way around, then your dust extraction port there on your circular saw actually lines up with a hole in the box here, so you can actually attach dust extraction to the table saw, which I think is another really good little feature. Another thing I didn't test with the table saw was the mitre gauge, which, as you can see, looks absolute top quality gear. It's not brilliant. In fact, I'm going to go as far as saying it's absolutely useless. Basically, you slide it in, great. You can just about slide it through, but I've not tightened it up. And as you tighten, say I want a 45 degree, if I tighten that up onto there, it's useless. That is absolute rubbish. You can't use that at all. So my final overall review of the product in its entirety. The power tools as standalone tools all work really well. When I'm saying really well, I'm being generous. I mean really well for a hobbyist home woodworker. You know, they're better than Black & Decker. They're better than cheap stuff you're going to pick up from B&Q. You know, The circular saw actually works quite well. I was quite impressed with that. The jigsaw as a jigsaw works pretty well. You know, you can't complain. The drill as a drill works pretty well. The jigsaw as a scroll saw, as you saw, it's very jumpy. Could maybe do with a better blade. I don't know. But I'll maybe try it with one of my blades, you know, just to see if that works better. So as a scroll saw, if you're using very thin material, it'll work fine. Thicker plies, you know, it's not going to be as good. It's very jumpy. The drill press, you saw all the play and the movement in there. Working out in my van, if I need a drill press for a specific job, and it doesn't matter if it's not bang accurate, I just need to make sure it's a straight up and down, fine, it'll do the job. But it's at the end of it, it's not a drill press, it's a drill attached to a metal bar with a plastic flippy handle. It's not a proper drill press at the end of the day. But the table saw surpassed my expectations, if I'm honest. The ruler on the fence was accurate, which I really didn't expect. It cut really well. Again, I am only cutting pallet wood, and that's all I will ever be cutting with it. But it cut really well. It cut through, it cut accurate, and it cut straight. So the table saw alone, for me, is worth it. Is a professional joiner going to go out and buy this kit? Not in a million years. I wouldn't expect somebody who's got a full range of DeWalt tools to go out and say, wow, look at that, because they're not. This is perfect for somebody who is a hobbyist and wants a range of tools. You know, you're not going to get a circular saw, a drill, a jigsaw, a scroll saw, a table saw, and a drill press, and a torch, and a work light for the price you're going to get that for. There's no uncertainty that it's just not going to happen. So if you're starting out a woodworker, you need some basic tools, but you don't want to spend the earth, perfect. That is what this is aimed at. For me, I'm really happy with it purely because of that table saw. It's going to mean that I can now run my entire van on battery power. Everything is now going to be running my van on battery power, and that was the reason I wanted it for. The fact that I've got an alright drill press and an okay scroll saw out of it, as well as a backup drill, a backup circular saw, and a backup jigsaw, and a torch, which I never had before, is just a bonus for me. You know, I'm happy with the table saw, and the extra things are just great for me. It isn't as good as what the YouTube video for this product by the manufacturer makes out. They show that working for a start, and that was terrible. But it isn't bad, and for the money, it's good. As I say, you're not going to be going out and buying this if you're a professional woodworker, but if you're not, if you're a hobbyist at home, you haven't got a lot of space, you need something you can slide under your bed, in the bottom of a wardrobe, in a kitchen cupboard, man, it's tiny, perfect. They do have an English retailer, but the stock limits are very limited. There was only 2 left in stock when we got this one sent out, so whether they're going to have any stock, when are they going to get more stock in, who knows. There is a workmate for this that it actually fastens down to, which I think would be a good purchase, just especially for the scroll saw, to stop it jumping about, or maybe somehow clamp it down to your bench, or open your workmate right up, it'll maybe sit into there. I'll have to try that, just to clamp it into place when you're using it. Even on the table saw, I think it would be safer, you know, if it was clamped into place, because at the end of the day, it is a plastic box with a circular saw upside down in it. So, you know, clamping it in place, I think, is going to be a good safety feature. But as an overall, I'm happy with it because it's going to serve the purpose that I need. I think I've covered everything. I'm not sure. If you've got any questions about it, do drop them in the comment section below. And I think that's about all I can say about that. See you soon, everybody.